Welcome to Sal's Classic Bodybuilding Archives. In today's episode, we're going back to June 1975 and take a look at Arnold's massive arms training booklet. Let's get started. Back in the day, you would come across ads in comic books featuring Charles Atlas, courses on karate and muscle building. I remember buying my first muscle course by Universal Bodybuilding from reading their ad in one of my Rawhide Kid comic books. Joe Weider also sold his muscle building courses through his Muscle and Power magazines, and you also received a free copy when you purchased your home barbell set. Arnold, Franco, Larry Scott, Frank Zane, Bill Grant, Boyer Coe, and many others also sold their training booklet in Joe Weider's magazines. Joe Weider actually encouraged his bodybuilding stars to make up their own publications to help them supplement their income. Arnold's girlfriend back in the early 70s was a young lady named Barbara Outland Baker. She published a book several years ago titled Arnold and Me. There is a section in her book where she writes describing how Joe Weider had asked Arnold to print up his training booklets. She describes how Arnold would give her an outline describing all of the exercises, sort of a rough draft of what he wanted to say in his booklets. Since Arnold was still perfecting his English, he would enlist Dick Taylor, who was a writer for the Weider magazines, and also Gene Mosé to help ghostwrite and type out the booklets for him. That included describing anatomy, all the exercises, and how they were performed. He also would enlist photographers to take the photos and then find a printing service to print up his 5x7 black and white booklets. Barbara mentions that Arnold had money coming in from the fans to purchase his booklets. He was a young entrepreneur and he needed the money first to then pay off the writers, the photographers, and the printing services before he could even send out the booklets. Well, in June of 1975, I purchased one of Arnold's booklets for only $2. $2 in 1975 equates to about $11.75 in 2024 dollars. Back in the day, I used to go to my local liquor store and purchase money orders and send those in as payment. Then anxiously wait about 2 weeks for my muscle building course to arrive in the mail. I even found my old receipt when I purchased one of Arnold's training booklets. So that's the backstory. So now let's get into a summarized reading of Massive Arms by Arnold Strong. This is probably the easiest book for a bodybuilder to write. Whenever the average person asks to see your muscle, they do not expect to see you flex your calves. It's the biceps that everyone wants to see. For this reason, more bodybuilders try to develop the arms than any other body part. The exercises that I have in this booklet have been the ones that have been the best result getters for me. I don't care how hard it's been for you to build big, powerful arms. You can make them grow. Before we go any further, I think you should understand that when the triceps are fully developed in proportion with the biceps, they form 2/3 of the bulk of the upper arm. If you're looking for arm bulk, then keep your tricep work program bulky. Exercise number 1, the standing barbell curl. I believe very strongly in basic moves, and the standing barbell curl couldn't be more basic. I suggest a medium grip for direct bicep action. Start with a weight that becomes progressively more difficult to use after the 5th or 6th rep. Then cheat if you have to, so that you'll ram blood in the area. Exercise number 2, the Scott curl. Before I came to the United States, my biceps program consisted of 2 exercises, the one-arm Zottman curl and the standing barbell curl. I like to vary the move of the Scott curl. I've done it using an easy curl bar to take pressure off the wrists, and I've done it with dumbbells as well. Exercise number 3, incline dumbbell curls. One of the greatest bodybuilders of all times is the very popular Steve Reeves. Aside from his classic proportions, he had one of the best pair of arms in the world. The incline dumbbell curl was one of Steve Reeves' favorite bicep exercises, and it has now become one of my favorites as well. Exercise number 4, 3-part curls or 21s. It can be done with a barbell, but I prefer using dumbbells. First, I curl the weight up to the halfway mark for around 7 reps. Then, without stopping, I curl the weight from the halfway mark all the way up to the shoulder and let it halfway down. After about 7 more reps, I lower the weight all the way down to the starting position, and without stopping, do 7 more full curls. If you haven't tried this one before, then you're in for a treat. Exercise number 5, dumbbell concentration curls. The upper body should be in a bent over position, while holding with one arm the dumbbell and the other supporting the upper body on your knee. The dumbbell should be curled up to the front of the deltoid. Exercise number 6, tricep pushdown using the lat bar. This is one of my favorites, not because it works so directly on the entire muscle group of the triceps, but because there are so many variations of the same exercise. Just by changing the spacing of your hands on the bar or the angle of the body, you can have a completely different exercise. Exercise number 7, seated inclined tricep press. One of the best ways to influence any body part is to use it against direct gravity pressure. On the incline bench, I take a close grip on the easy bar and lower the weight behind my neck, and then press it up until my arms are locked full length overhead. Exercise number 8, the tricep push-up on bench. This is another one of my favorite exercises for triceps because it develops the lower area of the triceps, the area around the elbow. Lower the body as far down as possible and press your body up. Be sure that only the tricep performs the work. If your body weight isn't enough resistance, place a weight on the top of your upper thighs. Exercise number 9, parallel bar dips. This exercise is known as a famous chest exercise, but by varying the position of your body, this exercise works tremendously for triceps. Do the dips in an upright position rather than a bent over position. This way, it'll work almost 100% for the triceps. Exercise number 10, one-arm tricep extensions. This is my last tricep exercise. This is an exercise where you cannot use any other body part to help with the movement. I lift a dumbbell with one arm above my head and let it down slowly behind my neck and press it back up again. Exercise number 11, barbell reverse curls. I perform this exercise for 2 reasons. 1, it helps to lengthen my biceps and develop the lower part of the bicep. And 2, it increases the size of my forearms. To perform this exercise, you should use a shoulder width reverse grip. Keeping the elbows at your side while curling the bar all the way to the top. Exercise 12 are heavy wrist curls. I finish off my forearm work with heavy barbell wrist curls on a bench. I prefer resting the back of my forearms on the bench in a sitting position and do the wrist curls in a close grip. I always lock my elbows between my knees to keep the elbows together as closely as possible. While you've been reading the description of each exercise, you may have wondered, why haven't I touched on such things as sets and reps? This has been done deliberately. The reason is simple. I can't decide for you the number of sets and reps you should use any more than I can decide how strong you are and what poundages you should use. If you are a beginner, you must start off slowly and build a firm foundation before you start adding additional exercises. Start off with just one tricep exercise and one bicep exercise as part of your first program for several weeks. Perform one set of 10 reps for the initial workouts and work up to 3 sets of 10 reps over several weeks. You can then start adding more exercises. After 6 months of training, you can start performing supersets. This is where you alternate a bicep exercise with a tricep exercise for 3 sets apiece without stopping between sets. Eventually, you could use every exercise in this booklet in the same workout by performing giant sets. A giant set is a string of 4 or more exercises for the same body part done without rest between them. In other words, it would be the same as doing all the tricep exercises one after the other for one set until all 6 exercises have been completed. You would then rest and start over until you've done that for 3 times, and then move on to another body part. These exercises should average 6 to 10 reps for 3 or 4 sets each workout. The exercises in this booklet are bound to give you results. Remember, no exercise is a bad one, just poorly done. Find the right weight, the right number of sets and reps, and the proper body angle, and you'll get what you want. Massive and powerful arms. Best of luck. Arnold Strong. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, if you're enjoying Sal's content, please consider hitting the thanks icon. I would appreciate it. Until the next video, keep training and chasing the dream.